Beauty is a form of spirituality. It overwhelms us with color. It is as calming as the line of a distant horizon. It points to something deeper than the objects we examine. There is a connection between our soul and the soul of others. We catch glimpses of what Van Gogh saw and felt. A beautiful tune transports us across time. The expanse of the ocean points towards infinity. Today I share the impact of beauty upon my life. I was born in beauty, north of the 45th parallel, halfway to the North Pole, raised on land that was almost an island. Presqu'île, County, Michigan, was named by French voyagers as they mapped the shore of Lake Huron. Woodlands met the water, and I immersed myself in both. I took few pictures. Many shades of blue and green filled my world. I did not realize their beauty until I left. I went to college among the oil fields of Michigan's Central Plain, and then to the urban streetscape of Chicago. And when that got too hectic, I would turn my back on the city and gaze at Lake Michigan. Great Lakes restore my soul. Then I moved to the urban sprawl of the Washington, D.C. area, then settled in Western Carolina. There the beauty overwhelmed me. The rising mountains, the flowering trees, the meandering rivers, the waterfalls, the autumn colors. Every season was beautiful except one. Carolina winters are ugly. The snow never stays. It lasts only a day until the rain washes it away. January in Winston-Salem consists of rainy days with the temperature hovering just under 40 degrees. That drizzling wetness is colder, more bone-chilling than a 25-degree day with the snow gently falling. Plus, the whiteness of snow reflects and multiplies the brightness of even a distant sun shrouded in clouds. So I moved back to Indiana for some winter. But the other 3 seasons were as follows. Spring, when the flat, dark soil awaits the planting of corn and soybeans. Summer, when the flat earth is green with corn and soybeans. Autumn, when the dried remains of corn and soybeans long to be plowed back into the plains. I discovered I needed to search for beauty. It was not going to jump out at me and startle me. The beauty in northern Indiana is hidden in nooks and crannies, ravines where the water flows into the mighty Wabash, little hollows that are worlds unto themselves. Before I come to Eastern Carolina, let me share one of my favorite places. Williamsport Falls. Near here is Highway 41. Highway 41 in Indiana was featured in the film North by Northwest. It is a desolate road surrounded by corn, so barren that Cary Grant can spot an airplane a mile away. It is the perfect spot for a murder. There are no witnesses as the crop duster unleashes machine gun fire and sends him running across the fields. And he tries to hide among the dead stalks of corn. But there are rivers in those cornfields. Often they are straightened into irrigation ditches. One such ditch is named the French Ditch, and it meanders west of Highway 41 and reaches a tiny town named Williamsport. A river 3 feet wide is renamed the Fall Branch because it plunges 90 feet down into a ravine. The highest waterfall in Indiana is hidden in an alley behind some rundown buildings on Main Street. The rest of the land takes about a mile to drop that 90 feet to the Wabash River. It's an imperceptible slope. But here in this magic hollow is a secret world of beauty. It is a sacred space that I visited often. Throughout the seasons, the volume of the water would change. Sometimes it actually would be dry and just be a cliff. And other times over 20 feet wide, and sometimes frozen from top to bottom. Always surprising. The ocean. Moving to New Bern, the estuary led me down to the ocean. Wide and expansive, an infinite horizon like my great lake home. Emotion filled me, a memory of beauty etched upon my soul. But salty, not fresh, with messy low tides full of stranded sea creatures. My sandy toes squished in a wide, foamy pathway of receding waves. Surfers ride the swells, standing when the water breaks, surrendering their bodies to the blueness of open sky, riding the wild surf. The boats at Oriental. At Oriental, the east end of River Neuse, the water is wide. Sailboat rigging sings and rings in the moving air, moving my spirit. Fishing boats survive after generations of eking a living, seeking forbearance from a sea of providence, the ocean of grief. There is no money when safe in the harbor. Life and death beckons. A long history of the beautiful struggle of loving the sea. Neuse River at Dawson Creek. Near Genario, there's a path to the clouds next to the river. I see the water flow horizontally and vertically. Water condenses, accumulating in clouds, threatening to rain. Does water tell us that our souls evaporate and return like rain? Do our lives nurture a beautiful future storm? I hope it is true. Venus flytraps in the Croatan forest. The lost colony carved Croatoan on a tree of mystery. Not too far away, the Croatan forest grows from the sandy soil. Tall Carolina pines shelter the carnivorous animals and plants. The black bear ambles, but under the bramble grows the Venus flytrap. With mouth wide open, it is sweet and enticing, hungry for prey. Deadly jaws embrace when insects or spiders trace their feet inside her. This exotic plant grows only along the coast of the Carolinas. Look for it with care, but be wary of the bears. They have sharp teeth too. Island Creek in the Croatan. I miss the North Woods, walking under autumn trees, because beauty that is hidden by green, verdant summer suddenly explodes against a crisp blue autumn sky. There's one place down south that reminds me of up north. The Island Creek Trail in the Croatan National Forest. Island Creek is small and twisting, barely flowing under moss-covered logs. Leaves sink into mud. Mud and mulch are not pleasing to the eye, but therein beauty lies. The soil feeds the trees, filling the leaves with splendor. Cotton field. Emerging from the southern woods, I drive a country road. The summer sun reveals something whiter than snow. Cotton. I pull over near the ditch. Standing silently, I remember all who have died for cotton. I have only seen it before in black and white pictures with sharecroppers, young children, and old former slaves, burdened and overflowing with sacks of cotton. The sadness of their ghosts hovers like a gossamer veil over this field. The harvest is mechanized now, but the soil still contains the blood of fingers pricked as they pick the cotton boll. The blood of backs whipped if the picking was deemed too slow. the blood of soldiers who fought for and against freedom. The plant itself is a miracle, fuzzy and furry like an animal, pretty cottontails, row after row, the source of many beautiful clothes, a fashionable dress or a well-pressed shirt or a soft sheet where we lay down to rest. Shrouded in history, we cannot escape. It is the fabric of our lies. Whenever we say those days are over and old times there are long forgotten. Tryon Gardens. Sometimes nature is too wild. An English garden brings order to the world. Tryon Palace is the reconstructed colonial capital, where history is restored to what we hope it was. Untidy portions are swept away, and we are left with the grandeur and style. The ugliness of slavery, the smell of the manure in the one remaining barn that was there, has all been cleaned up and trimmed back. The garden is pleasant and restful. An occasional sculpture expresses its opinion of the perfect human form. The hedges appear as a labyrinth, but there is no danger of being lost. God is in his heaven and all is right with the world. We long for a world where everything is in order and nothing is messy and everything is in its place. It seems that all we can do is create small pockets of perfect beauty when the wildness of this world overwhelms us. Spanish moss. Spanish moss hanging down, lofty as the sycamore you found. Spanish moss keeps on following my thoughts around. These are words from a Gordon Lightfoot song that have drifted in my mind since the 1970s. Like me, he grew up near the 45th parallel across Lake Huron in Canada. And like me, he was an admirer of Spanish moss, which does not grow that far north. Spanish moss is a wild beauty. It grows where it wants to along the southern Atlantic coast. It feeds on the air, blowing from tree to tree, draping itself with wanton abandon. At Cedar Grove Cemetery, it hangs like a funeral crepe, bringing reverent beauty to the resting place of many. Its gray-green hue is a veil between life and death. Life is beautiful. Death is beautiful. History and mystery dances in the trees, following our thoughts around. The somber rows of tombstones are countered by the extravagant carelessness of Spanish moss. It is like a Holy Spirit, wandering as it will, settling wherever it chooses to add beauty. oak leaf in oil. Sometimes beauty is deceiving. Iridescent blue and green and purple floats upon the water. It is beautiful if we don't consider the source. The oil from many of a car has puddled in this parking lot. The carcass of a leaf has chosen this place to drown, a prisoner of a prism. Sometimes beauty is deceiving. We are distracted by many shiny objects, as if stain and varnish actually enhance wood. Plastic laminated artificial wood grain is even more durable and will last in the landfill forever. Be not deceived by easy beauty. Seek beauty that is tempered by time. Seek beauty that lives beneath the surface. Seek the beauty in the essence of things and not in the things themselves. Let the beauty of your soul find beauty in the soul of others. Enoli at my door. In my humble apartment built of ordinary brick, I sit and look through my window at a porch post painted beige. A tiny green Enoli flies his bright red flag, saying, "Look at me, I am beautiful and ready for love." He spends most of his time hiding in the hedges, muddling through the drudgery of life, but occasionally he rises above the mundane and lets the sun shine through the membrane that hangs below his chin. Small beauty is still beauty. It settles for a moment, then scampers away. In conclusion, looking for beauty is like looking for the holy. Sometimes it is obvious and overwhelming. The sunrise and the sunset moments of birth and death. They bring awe and wonder, gratitude and hope, and the contemplation of conundrums. But the aggravations of every day push away awe and wonder. Irritations, frustrations, and preoccupations cloud our perceptions. Sometimes we need to be intentional. We must look for inspiration. If we see no beauty, we might need to create it ourselves. We are able to detect beauty because it resonates with something already inside us. Let us not forget to look. The intention of our gaze can transform our perception of the world. Seek, and ye shall find beauty within you and in others. May we bless and be blessed.